We're going to continue our discussion of finding the surface area and volume of prisms, today looking at hexagonal and trapezoidal prisms. And I've written the formulas we've been using. Surface area equals the perimeter of the base times height of the prism plus 2 times the area of the base, and volume equals area of the base times height. And since we're going to talk about hexagons, I really quickly want to remind you about how we find the area. You don't need to write this in your notes, but how we find the area of a regular hexagon. So let's take a nice number. Let's say I have 12 is my side length. When we're doing regular figures, but let's talk about hexagon, your formula is that your area equals 1/2 perimeter times the apothem. So our perimeter, if I have 12 sides and 6 sides, then it's going to be 12 times 6, which is 72, and I need to find my apothem, which goes from a vertex to the center. So the first thing to remember is that when we're doing a hexagon, that this is making a 30, 60, 90, with the 60 degrees being the angle that's at the bottom. So first we split the side in half, so instead of 12 it's going to be 6, and then what they gave me is opposite my 30-degree angle. Special right triangles means that now my apothem is 6 square root of 3. And then I would simplify that to get my area of that hexagon. So I just wanted to go over that quickly because we're going to need that in these problems with a hexagonal prism. So looking at this first figure, remember that we need to identify what our base is first, so we have a hexagonal base for this one. All right, and it says to find the surface area. So I'm going to be doing surface area equals perimeter times height plus 2 times area of the base. So what do we know already? Well, the perimeter is going to be 5 times 6 because I have a regular hexagon, so my perimeter is 30. My height is 10 plus 2 times my base. So the main work of this problem is to find the area of the base. So I have my regular hexagon. So if the whole base is 5, that means half of it is going to be 2.5. So I'm going to draw the triangle over here so I have a little more room. 2.5. That is adjacent to my 60-degree angle. So I'm going to take 2.5 and multiply it by square root of 3. So that is my apothem. So my area of my base is 1/2 times the perimeter, which we already said is 30, times my apothem, which is 2.5 square root 3. So that's all going to simplify down to being 15 times 2.5, 37.5 square root of 3, which I didn't leave enough room for. What else is new? So when I try to combine these, remember I can't combine stuff without square roots. So I'm going to get 300 plus 75 square root of 3 for my answer. For number 2, we need to find the volume. So volume equals area of the base times height. Volume, I need to find the area of the base. That's going to be my harder part. But my height is going to be 8. So I'm going to do this one in red. So I have my hexagon, which is obviously not regular. Look at that beauty. So the whole side is 4, which means my base is 2, which means my apothem is 2 square root 3. So area of the base is 1/2. Perimeter of the hexagon, if I have side lengths of 4, would be 24, times my apothem, 2 square root of 3. And that's going to give me that my area of my base is 24 square root 3. Multiply what's in front, and I get that my volume would be 192 square root of 3. Okay. Base of a regular hexagon has a side length of 5 inches and a height of 10 inches. So this is the same figure as what we did up at the top. And now we want to find the volume. So I'm going to save myself some work because we've already done a lot of the work. Remember, volume equals base times height, area of the base times height. And we already found that the area of the base was 37.5 square root 3. And then we're going to multiply times our height of 10. So we get 375 square root of 3. Okay, so that one was a work smarter, not harder. Base of a regular hexagonal prism has a side length of 10 and a height of 16. Find the surface area. So surface area means we want to be using surface area equals perimeter of the base times height plus 2 times area of the base. So my perimeter, 10 times 6 would be 60. My height is 16. Plus 2, and my hard part is finding the area of the base. So we have a hexagon with a whole side length of 10. So half of that is 5. It makes a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So my apothem is 5 root 3. So area of my base is 1/2. Perimeter, we said, is 60 times apothem, which is 5 root 3. So that is going to give me 150 square root of 3. Once again, I can't combine things with a square root with things that don't have one, so I have 960 plus 300 square root of 3. So that is how we do it with a hexagonal prism. We also want to talk about a trapezoidal prism. And for this, you want to remember that for these, when we're doing a trapezoid, the formula for area of a trapezoid is 1/2 height B1 plus B2. All right. So the first one is asking me to find surface area. Remember, surface area equals perimeter of the base times height of the prism plus 2 times area of the base. So my base in these is a trapezoid. All right, so let's find the perimeter first. So the perimeter is going to be around my trapezoid. So I have 5 plus 12 is 17, plus 5 is 22, plus 6 is 28. Once again, we're just adding the outsides. 5, 12, 5, 6. That gives me my perimeter. Then I have that my height is 10, so times 10. And now I need to find the area of my base. And I'm going to do that work down here at the bottom. So the area of my base is 1/2. Height is, now we're talking about just the base of the trapezoid, so that would be 4 times B1 is 12 plus B2 is 6. So 2 times 18 would be 36. And now we're going to add all of this together. So we get 280 plus 72 which is 352 for my surface area. Okay, looking at the next problem, find the volume. And for this one, we have volume equals area of the base times height. So that's going to be whatever my base is times a height of 12. Once again, it can help to color in where your base is. Okay. Good. And then I'm once again going to do the area of the base down here. Base equals 1/2 times my height of the base is 5 times base 1, 2 plus 6, which is going to give me 20 as my answer. And then when I do 20 times 12, I get that my volume is 240 units. Okay, just more of the same. Find the surface area. So surface area is perimeter of base times height of the prism plus 2 times the area of the base. I have a trapezoidal prism. So if I want to find my perimeter first, I have 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 6 is 17, plus 3 is 20. So my perimeter is 20. My height is 10, plus 2 times area of my base. Area of my base is 1/2. Height of the base, which is 7, times base 1, 8, plus base 2, 6. And when I multiply all of that, I get that my base is 49. So when I multiply, I get that 200 plus 98, so 298. And lastly, still have a trapezoidal prism. We're finding volume. So volume equals area of the base times height of the prism. So we'll find area of the base, but the height of the prism is 8. Area of the base, 1/2 times height of the base, which is 3, times base 1 plus base 2. And this one is going to give me a decimal, or you could leave it as a fraction. So we get 45 divided by 2, so 22.5. And that times 8 is going to give me a volume of 180.